Everybody, welcome to another 3D graphing tutorial on Desmos. Hopefully at this point you should have a cube which you can rotate around and without any issues, and you should also have your line equations. If you prefer to start from blank like what you're seeing on here, this URL that you're seeing at the top will be available in the description. You can click on that and open a new tab, and you'll have exactly what you're seeing up here. Also, a few housekeeping things. Something that we neglected to use is if you do open up the setup folder, you'll notice a width, height, and a depth. And all we've been doing to this point is setting everything to 1. And I figured it'd be good if we can include that in this video. And how we want to use it. Well, I want to create a folder called points versus our usual default cube name. And the way you would use it now is rather using your usual x1 and y1 should be y sub 2. And that should get you a point on the screen. That's fantastic, but wouldn't it be nice if we could do something more sophisticated, such as doing a width divided by 2 over here for the x. Reason for division by 2 is because we're centering around the origin here, and so if we did use the width as is, you'll find your cube would be much larger than what you intended. Well, the height is going up and down, so that would be going to the y, and so we'll be doing that instead. And for your z-axis, that'd be the depth, is the one coming in and out of your screen. And you obviously is not a perspective view, so that's why it looks exactly flat on. And if we plot more of these, you'll find that these points will move around. So let me plot, say, 4 of these, for example. We'll make one of these negative. Let's make the y only negative. And then this time we'll make both the x and the y. Oh. By the way, no worries if you actually put your negative sign on either numerator or the denominator. It'll say the same thing. This is just my stylistic choice. Okay, and now, so this one you've already seen before, that you can rotate on the y-axis, you can rotate on the x-axis, rotate around the z-axis, like so. But this is bothering me. Well, actually, more so that this is incorrect. There we go. That's much better. Now, if you want to adjust the width and the height, and actually maybe even your depth will make a bit of a difference. You can see how that's impacting your stuff. So let's pick 3 distinct numbers, 2, 4, and 6. You now see that what you're doing will make a bigger change than what we used to have, which is putting 1s everywhere. Alright, I do recommend getting any organized if you do want to see it, so that way you can toggle on and off. I'm going to go ahead and plot the rest of the points and catch you when we get back. Alright, so I have plotted all the points here, and I did verify that these points are rotating as expected. And now we want to fill in these faces here, and unfortunately this is not good news, or for those who like to have a bit of fun, maybe that's good news for you, because is now we have a challenge in front of us. I have also made a folder called faces, because that's where we're going to be putting all our inequalities in. This is how we normally do our colorings. And reason this is going to be a challenge is mostly because this is not as simple as one inequality per face. What do we mean by that? So let's say I want to fill in. Let's say I want to draw a face that fills in 1, 2, 3, 4 points. All right, that's a face over there, and a line that would go through it. A quick demonstration. So this would be delta y, be y2 of this positive x. Actually, in fact, I'll do you one better. Copy and paste. Minus this y here, and we're going to divide that by their x equivalents. Copy, paste, but instead of y, those are actually x's. Apply that x, and then we need a. Oh, you know what? We've been using a point slope formula, have we? So m times x minus, doesn't matter which one we use as long as we're consistent. Let's pick this one here. I said x, not y. Plus, and this would be the y equivalent of it. There we go, and it goes directly to these 2 points. Fine. Alright, and the next line that would go through this, let's do these 2 points here. Alright. And these 2 lines are actually parallel to each other, so we can save ourselves a bit of time by same thing, but difference is that anywhere we see a positive as h over 2, there'll be negative instead. And you see the slope is the same, but here's the difference. That did work, but more stylistic than this. Alright. And now we want to fill in the faces in between. That's fine, and the way you would do that is you would delete the y equals over here, and then you would move this equation all the way to the end of it. So this would be this on top for now. Bottom. Now, how do we fill in? Well, we do have an area here now, but it's not between these 2. But it's not, you know, within this face here. And if we did pick these 2 points here, like the one on the outer edges, you would notice an issue here. What do we mean by that? What I'm talking about is if we say say this x is bounded between this x and it's bounded between this extreme point. The reason we need more than one equation for it is, I'll show you, we're looking for this point here, so this is actually a, a negative height, and this one here is actually a positive height. So we've filled in most of the area, but if we want to fill in the rest, we're going to need one more inequality to fill in this sliver here on the left, and another inequality to fill in this sliver on the right. What I'm getting at, if you haven't figured it out, is each face requires up to 3 equations to fill, and actually we're going to be using 3 equations to fill each face. And that is so that if we do rotate one of them right on, though the other 2 slivers that we filled in, they're not going to be relevant for the moment, but if we do rotate them some more, they'll show back up. Alright, I'll show you how to do one of them. Obviously, you know the inequality that you have in your hands right now is more complex than this. I want to show you the general idea, and then in between, and hopefully you will have combined whatever you're looking at here with the inequalities that you already have in your hands. All right. Oh, let's fill in those 2 slivers, and in the next recording, I'll show you what you should hopefully have. So we're looking at a line that goes through these 2 points here now. And that is this point here. Let's actually write it out. I want to show you the process for this so that, oh no, is stuff falling apart? It's not. And just a short tip, since you stayed this long, is if you have a new equation here and it's not already in the folder that you want to be, let's say it looks like that. Drag it up a little bit so that it overlaps a little bit with the equation above that's in the folder, and you'll see a gray bar on this side, and it'll tell you that it's indented in here. Okay, let's draw a line that goes through these 2 points here. So we're looking at actually this point here. If you're confused on which point is selected, if you hover on this one here, the one that got a little bit bigger, that's the one that you have. Very subtle, but I at least want to point that in case you're getting lost with all these abstract formulas. Alright, so subtract this point from it's not itself. Instead, we want this is still negative width over 2, but this is actually now negative height over 2. If you highlight this, I think I mentioned this last video. If you highlight a part of the equation that you want, and you press a division symbol or the slash symbol, you'll get a division line underneath it. And this is not y anymore. This is x. I have made a mistake. There we go. If we don't have the x, it'll output a number. That's where my mistake was. X minus x1. Does it matter? It doesn't. I picked the one that looks less haunting. Plus. And because I picked the one corresponding to this point here, I have to use the same y value. There we go. And we know what this is going to be bounded between. So it's actually going to be this y equals at the front is not mandatory, as did because habits. And we want this to be less than y and less than, well, we want it to be this equation here, this top line here. And we can grab it by using we can just grab this equation here. If it's a wrong one, it is very easy to fix. It's a nice thing about it. It is a wrong one, actually. So let me grab the right one. There we go. And this is going to be in between this x here and this x here. And what does that mean for us? That means we want to bound it between this x here. Yes, I have tried the end key for those asking. That's going to go up to this other x here, which is, well, wouldn't that be the same thing? I like to verify before I accidentally embarrass myself. There we go. You see that? Let me make this easier to see if I pick a different color. Alright. If yours ended up being a different color and you want them to match because you just want them to blend, that's fine. I will leave them different just so you know that we are using different pieces of equations to tie them all together. And good news actually to save you some work is because this line is parallel with this line here, and this line here is going to be parallel with what's going to be this line here. We use the same inequality, and we'll select everything in this box here. Do Control A to select everything, and you can do your usual Control C and Control V. All right, and now what is the difference? Well, first, the slope is the same, but the y-intercept is going to be different. So what's going to be different is we can still something spells bad idea up here. Let's delete that. We'll do it the real way. It's going to be this top right point at the front, this y, minus, I'm not going to y equals this time because it's just simply going to be deleted. And it's going to be this y here. Copy it. Also divide. Alright, we have a slope that matches with this one, but I like to keep it consistent by using this pair of points instead. What if using a different shape? We want to use it on different objects. Hint, hint. It's going to be x minus, let's pick this one here. Or if you prefer the one with no negative signs. Won't hurt my feelings. Plus, and this isn't going to be x, it's going to be y. this is actually going to be above this line here. So rather than using a less than, we want to, well, rather than using less than or equal to, we use a greater than or equal to. I should explain my steps. If you type the greater than symbol or a less than symbol and then hit an equal symbol afterwards, it'll draw that symbol underneath. You don't have to go on wherever you want, Wikipedia, and then copy and paste a symbol in here. This will do it for you. It's actually better this way. Then you want to grab this line down here, which we do have. This was the equation I was trying to grab earlier. There we go. The end key does work. Don't know why it didn't work earlier. Not complaining. I suppose it works up to a certain extent. And where do we want it to go between? We want it to be between wherever this point is. That's hard to see. We want it to be wherever this end point was, all the way up to. It's not far actually. But what does that matter? And then we want to be bound up to this point here. You may have noticed something. I don't need that other inequality, but I'm putting in there for completeness. I want to eliminate any possible issues that you may run into should you choose to rotate this thing, which I'm assuming you do. Inside, out, outside. Alright. There we go. This face is now filled in, and if the three different colors is bothering you, you can make them all the same. Choose any color you want. And so now you will know that this is made of three different inequalities, but to whoever you're showing to, it looks like, I don't know, maybe they need to watch this video to realize what kind of effort we went through to make this possible. All right, so in the next video, I want to show you what this would look like if you did have everything filled in. So it's not simple, but it's not simply do it, but merge whatever you saw on here with what you have. Same inequality, those will stay the same because is you had a comma after this symbol here with your other inequality to counter for the rotations. I'll be doing the same thing, but if I did that on here, this will take way too long. This video is already taking a long time. All right. If you do have questions, if you do get stuck on how to piece this with what you currently have, do let me know in the comments. I will make a long video. I will make a longer video if that's what it takes to get you to where you need to go. All right. So hope you found this helpful. Thanks for staying on this long. If you found this useful, like the video. If you want to see more like this, if you want to catch my latest uploads like this one you saw here, there's a big red subscribe button. So I hope you would consider that deeply. All right, thanks again for watching. Hope you have a good weekend.